afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Wave Network and Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. And with me this afternoon, I have with me a very special guest. He goes by the name of Damon Hydro. How you doing, my brother?
I'm wonderful, man. I'm just loving living my best life, as they like to say.
Folks, let me give you all a little review of how this all came about. As I'm scrolling through Facebook and, I'm watching some things, it was kind of late night. And I happened to turn on and I had my man, Damon Hargrove, doing what I considered then was like a show about the Lakers. And I became very interested in it. And then I began to follow him and follow his shows. And it became very interesting to me, and I enjoyed his format and how he did everything. And we're having a little technical difficulties here, but we'll get through that real quick. And I was like, this guy's doing something really unique. And I would always, text the show, let them know I'm around. The Conn Man's in the building. I would always do something like that. Just to get it going. And I contacted him and asked him if he would come on my show. And he's like, yeah, sure, Mike, I'll come on. I'm sure he was a little hesitant about, what I do, but I'm glad he's here. Now, Damon, can you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, if you could?
Well, first of all, I'm a retired old man, and I worked on the railroad for about 30-something years, and that was my claim to fame, I guess. During that time, I did some coaching and I also went to broadcasting school. And prior to that, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I was a little fat kid from Brooklyn / Coney Island, and just love sports. Always loved sports. I thought I played better than what I did. So as most people have a high opinion of themselves. When I was in the neighborhood, I was the greatest player. I was Reggie Jackson. I was Walt Frazier. I was all these people. But really, my trade is really sports communication in terms of speaking about sports and just loving the game. And I remember when I was in Coney Island, I was like 10 years old. My mother bought me like one of those video cameras. I think it was a camcorder, a lot different than what we have today going on in this society. But I was doing games from 10 years old, just announcing games. From that point, I went to Madison Square Garden. I remember doing games at the Garden. I was at Jeffrey Mayer. If all you Yankee fans are out there, my condolences to Yankee fans for losing Juan Soto. But I did the Jeffrey Mayer game where he, the kid, came over to the field and basically blocked the ball. I was at that game, so that's all I did growing up. I used to do games, play-by-play, and like I said, I never could really get totally into broadcasting because I had a family, had to put my daughter through college and all that good stuff. So you make the sacrifice of giving up some of your dreams for hopefully some of their dreams, and it all worked out well because with the advent of social media, you saw me doing what I call the Purple and Gold Report, basically a post-game show about the Lakers, and I usually have JJ Redick. I steal the stream from YouTube, and then I usually have LeBron James or Anthony Davis. I play all the player interviews that I can, and then I talk about it, and I say what I agree with, what I don't agree with it, and it's really caught on. Last year I was getting like 10,000 people a game. Then Facebook decided to ask me about some monetization thing, and due to my pension, I can't take any extra money. So I had to decline them. So then my views went down. And then so I had to start all over again. And then this year, we've been doing pretty good. I think 7,000 was our high, 2,000 is the low. So my thing is, I just want to just give the game to people, because a lot of people don't have the streaming. A lot of people don't have cable. And a lot of people who are on Facebook groups, they're from China, they're from all over the country. And I want to just give them a little taste about the game. And I like I said, I did a little coaching. My daughter played a little college. So, I think I know a little bit about the game. Maybe my ego probably sometimes thinks that I'm actually the sports guru, and a guy named Brian Ferris, when I was working at the railroad, nicknamed me the sports guru, and it stuck with me ever since. So here I am. I'm so honored to be on your show because so many people do what you do, and I didn't know anything about you. I was like, who's this guy? And then I looked at your show. I was like, wow, this guy, he gets professional athletes. I really love what you're doing, man. So, hats off to you and all that you're doing because I'm about everybody eating. I'm not doing this for fame and fortune, but I just love to see people do well. That's my nature.
Let's talk to you, Damon. You got that sign behind you, the Lakers, right? And Damon, I don't know if you know, I'm from New Bedford, Massachusetts, which is Boston Celtic territory.
Oh, I know it well. I was in an AAU tournament where my team won that I coached down in over where the Hall of Fame is, and I'll never forget that. We had a great tournament. That tournament, yes, my Boston memories are very fond.
So, and with me living here, not being a Celtic, Bruin, Red Sox, Patriot fan, I get a lot of heat. You know what I mean? But I am who I am, so that's how it goes. But I want to tell you something that maybe, because Damon and I, we spoke over the phone and we're trying to, touch base about this show. And a couple things I didn't let Damon know. When I was growing up, I was about 11, 12 years old. And, I had my first playing that will change. That was my very first time. Of course, they were going against the Celtics. What transpired was my boys were saying that Russell was better. I was saying Kenny. So as a 12-year-old young man, I went to the New Bedford Public Library. I didn't check this out and looked up microfilm. Who in their right mind at 12 years old goes up and looks up microfilm of every single game that Will Chamberlain played against Bill Russell? I know to this day, because I got issues. I remember every damn game that they played. I can tell you when Chamberlain got 55 rebounds, who did he do it against? Bill Russell. I can tell you stories beyond stories. And then obviously when I had the great Sam Jones on my show, which was very emotional, and that really put me back in my place. But getting back to I wanted to give you your flowers and what you do, and I appreciate what you do because you're very entertaining and you keep it 100, which I do appreciate. So is okay. So you started doing your show, and then obviously started progressing, and you started getting a lot of views. Talk about your post game Lakers show and what does it entail? And you talked about it a little bit, but can you let the viewers a little bit more?
First, let me ask you one question because you really interest me with what you just said. I always remember. I don't know if you know who Mike Francesa is, who used to do
very well.
Yeah, Mike Francesa, Mike and the Mad Dog.
Yeah.
There used to be a little controversy about Wilt because, see, Wilt is a little bit before my time, but I do remember Wilt. And a lot of people speak so badly about Wilt. And it bothers me because, you just mentioned something. You said he had like 55 rebounds against, against Russell. And everybody always tries to make Russell better than Wilt because, he won. But I think it's because he had the better team. What would you say about that?
I would say absolutely. The Boston Celtics had 8 Hall of Famers. That should tell you right then and there. And I talked about because I'm not all there, Damon, because I am a fanatic, and I can talk about how Bill Russell. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. Do you have any idea how Bill Russell ended up with the Celtics?
Do I know how he ended up on the Celtics? No, I know he went to San Francisco. He went to San Francisco, right?
Yes, he played with Casey Jones.
Oh, the great Casey Jones. No, I don't know exactly how he ended up there.
Well, this is going to blow your mind and all your viewers. Back then, the Celtics had an owner. Don't remember his name exactly. I got to mention. But anyway, Red Auerbach and the owner, they wanted to get this guy from the University of San Francisco named William Felton Russell. And you're not going to believe this true story. There was a NBA team called the Rochester Royals, if I'm correct. They had an owner. Now, back in the days, late 50s, there was the biggest thing in town were the ice capades. I'm telling you, there were the
Square Garden, right?
yeah. So what happened was the owner's name, his first name was Walter. I know that. Anyway, he went and spoke with the owner of the Rochester entry, and what happened was Bill Russell was the second pick. They had the second pick. The Celtics had the second pick. They wanted Bill Russell. So Rochester had the second pick, the first pick, excuse me. I get confused. Rochester had the first pick. Boston had the second pick. And what happened was they wanted to get Bill Russell so bad that they went to the owner of the Rochester team, the entry, and they approached him. Now, this was at a nightclub establishment, and Walter and the owner of the Celtics, they went and they spoke. And the owner of the Rochester Royals said, okay, we'll give you that pick, but we want ownership of the ice capades. True story. So what happened was they agreed upon Russell going to the Celtics for the purchase of the ice capades. And that very same year, Bill Russell did not win the Rookie of the Year. That same year, the Celtics also had the seventh pick, and they picked a guy by the name of Tommy Heinsohn. I don't remember him. Tommy Heinsohn was, and he ended up becoming the All-Star. And that's all. I don't know why I'm talking about something I don't even like. I just want to give a little bit of historical perspective from rap. Getting back to having you on the show, John, I'm so happy that you came on the show because you also have a lot of knowledge. And I like some of the comments that people make when they come on your show, and how you keep it all the time. But I want to know. I want to get your feedback on a couple of things, if I may. First of all, I want to talk about what are your feelings about JJ Redick becoming the head coach of the Lakers, and then we're going to go into Bronny. But go ahead.
Well, I was all for JJ Redick becoming the head coach because I saw JJ on First Take and I saw him do analyst work on ABC and ESPN, and I knew JJ was a student of the game.
Absolutely.
And so far this year, I haven't been proven wrong. I was one of the people when Darwin Ham got fired, I was not opposed to him getting fired. He looks like me in some ways, Darwin Ham, if you get my drift.
He does.
I don't generally call for the firing of people because I just think it's something that's so personal that it's not something that I generally want to do on my show. But that being said, when it happened, I couldn't disagree with it because Darwin Ham, there was a couple of things he was very deficient at. He was very deficient at the challenges. Last year, Darwin must have got maybe about 20%, between 20 and 30% of the challenges correct. And to me, that lends itself to say that you're not that smart. And that I think that any coach who in the NBA or any level that has the challenge, whether it's the football, you have to have someone who's your eyes and ears. So they have to be the one that say, hey, Darwin, we challenge this play. You can't only do it by your sight because you can't see everything that happens on the court. So you need somebody to do that. Darwin never did that. And you know what? Another problem Darwin Ham had was that the players didn't respect him. During the Western Conference playoffs last year, I think between game 2 and 3, Anthony Davis said, we don't know what we're doing. I mean, here's the first or second best player on the team coming out to the media saying that we're lost. We don't know what we're doing. He was really talking about the defensive, assignments. And I thought that was in poor taste by Anthony Davis. And I like Anthony Davis. But if you remember back to that series, Murray, danced out on the perimeter with like 1 or 2 seconds left and hit a game winner. I believe twice he did that. And both times, who was guarding them? None other than Anthony Davis. So that's something that the Lakers did do wrong, but Davis had the ability to change that, and he didn't. So he can cry all he wants about, Darwin not knowing what the hell he's doing. But guess what, Anthony Davis, you got to take some accountability also. And to come out in the public like he did against his coach, it really said the writing was on the wall. So one of the things that I've noticed about JJ so far, he's about 60% on his challenges. And I'm sure he has somebody on the bench that's nudging him and saying, challenge this, don't challenge that, because he's too good at it. And as far as the way the Lakers have played, I believe they're 13-11. They're up and down right now. But the truth of the matter is, there's been times when the Lakers were missing 7 players out of their rotation. They've been missing, out of the starting lineup, or not out of the starting lineup, but maybe out of the top 7, Austin Reeves was out. Jackson Hayes was out. We had what's his name? The kid from Cam Reddish was out. That was 3. Then you had Vando was out. That was 4. Then you had Christian Reeves. So the Lakers just have not been whole, and unfortunately, Gabe Vincent, who's supposed to be our guard off the bench, has played like doo-doo. And unfortunately, that has really hurt the Lakers. And, we haven't been able to get on the roll. Now we hear today, LeBron James missed our last game because supposedly his foot was hurting, but he may miss the next game because he's trying to get some sort of rest to re-energize him. So I'm the biggest LeBron James fan. I mean, if you look around this room, this is called a Laker room, but it really should be called the LeBron James room. And but I don't know what's going on with that. We heard a few people talk about it today. Shams on ESPN and what's his name, Brian Windhurst of ESPN also spoke about it. There is some rumors out there that the Golden State Warriors are interested in making a trade for LeBron James, but the only person. LeBron James has a no trade clause, so he's the only one that can agree to that. And right now, with his son being on the team, I don't know. That's a little tricky. I don't know if LeBron would want to go that route, because if him and Bronny up and go to the Golden State Warriors, they may never be able to go back to Southern California. So I don't know. I don't know about that, my brother. So I just know that I enjoy doing the show. I try not to be too critical. I mean, everybody and their grandmother is always on what's his name? D-Lo. Now he's D'Angelo Russell. I try to give him some love because he did play a lot better last year. But you know what? It seems that until they get rid of this guy, D-Lo, the Lakers are always going to be up and down because he's just so inconsistent as a third scorer, and he doesn't play any defense at all. So it puts the Lakers in a bad spot. So I think JJ Redick's done a good job. Now I think he takes things a little bit too seriously in terms of the post game shows. He wears his shirt on his sleeves, But hey, I can't tell another man how to act. It's like, hey, you lose your girlfriend, and your best friend is telling you, hey man, there'll be another one. You don't want to hear that right then. You're heartbroken, brother, and you ain't gonna be happy until you find another girlfriend that can replace her. So, maybe a poor analogy, but you get my point.
I got you. Now, something with the Lakers, they're playing tomorrow night against Minnesota. I was looking forward to that game, but that would give LeBron about 8-9 days off, if I'm correct. Yes. 8-9 days off before the next scheduled game.
Right.
Now, what I want to ask you is, do you think that would be beneficial for the team? Maybe them coming together to form a better unit?
Are you saying with LeBron James not being there for a couple of games?
No. What I'm saying is with him getting the rest.
Oh, well, I think twofold, Michael. I think, yes, I agree that the rest can only help LeBron James because, the man is almost my age. I'm 60. He's 40. He'll be 40. So Hey, 20 years, what the heck? We're pretty close in age, I think, especially for him playing professional basketball. And
Right.
second of all, I think, and I didn't really notice this until really the last game, and I start to hear this sort of narrative. Uh, it seems that Rui and it seems like D'Angelo Russell, for whatever reason, seem to really play well when LeBron James is not there. And
Mm.
I was listening to it because there's always a lot of hate, when it comes to LeBron James. But as great as he is, but then, the more and more I listen to it, Rui plays his more natural position, and he was outstanding in the last game. And
Mhm.
D'Angelo Russell, there's a sequence about 2 games ago where LeBron passed the ball to D'Lo. D'Lo passed it back to LeBron. LeBron passed it back to D'Lo. Like LeBron was doing everything he could to say, "Yo, man, get off, do your thing," and D'Lo is like always deferring when when LeBron James is on the court. So that's
Mm.
why they put him as a sixth man. So
Uh-huh.
you know what? I think in some ways, if these guys can really show their wares when LeBron James is out, I think that will help the team. And that's one of the few times that I've ever said anything about LeBron James in that kind of vein.
Now, Damon, my next question is, I'm going to talk about management, upper management. I guess the Lakers are getting a lot of heat because they really didn't do much during the off season. Do you believe that is the case? And also, in about, I think, maybe a week, 2 weeks, free agency kicks in. What do you think are their prospects of trying to go into the free agency?
Well, your point is well made, Michael. December 15th opens up a new, I guess, time in the NBA where 80% of the players can now be dealt. And
Right.
that's, what's today is the 11th, I think. I lose track of the days being retired. But
13th, I think.
you could be right. I haven't
Uh,
left the house. I haven't even left the house yet.
This is 12. My boss is 12. The
Okay,
12th.
the 12. See, I knew I was probably a day short, but yes, they will be able to make trades, and I think you hit the nail on the head. The general manager Rob Pelinka, I always call him Kobe's boy. God bless the late Kobe Bryant. They
Yeah.
were best friends, and somehow Rob Pelinka got that job. Based on his friendship with Kobe. I think he's done a piss poor job. And
Mhm.
so has Kirk Rambis and Linda Rambis, because they seem to be in the eyes and ears of Jeannie Buss, the owner. And
Right.
they haven't done anything it seems like almost in 2 years. So
Hmm.
they need to make a move. Now, there's this new thing called the apron, where allegedly the owners put this new rule into effect when they did the new collective bargaining agreement where, you can't really have 3 superstars on one team. Although Phoenix does, with the 3 stars that they have. But it's very difficult to squeeze that money in that way. But the Lakers, I've been hoping that they could get Zach LaVine from Chicago, because Chicago's going nowhere fast, and I
Back.
think he would be the perfect player for the Lakers. Now, at one time, I was not willing to give up Rui, but I'm willing to give up Rui. I'm willing to drive him to the airport and whatever else he might need me to do. If he needs me to shine his shoes, I'll shine his shoes, because I want Zach LaVine here in the worst way. I think if we can make that trade for Rui, if we can make that trade for D'Lo, and maybe throw somebody else in there, Gabe Vincent, we got to make that deal. Also, Brandon Ingram out there in New Orleans, that
Mhm.
he's also they didn't re-sign him to a max contract, so he's a clutch client, meaning that he with the Rich Paul, who's obviously affiliated with LeBron James. So
Mhm.
I believe that he's also somebody the Lakers are eyeing. Unfortunately, I think he sprained his ankle or something recently, so he's
Right.
injured right now. But I do think those 2 players, for the fans out there, those are 2 players to really look at. I think that those trades are doable, and the Lakers have to do something. If they don't do anything, I've been calling for Rob Pelinka's head for a long time. Obviously, nobody's listening to me, because if it was up to me, he'd be gone. But the bottom line is, it's been almost 2 years since the Lakers made a significant trade, and that's not even fair to LeBron James. I mean, obviously they brought in Bronny, which, you know, was a favor to LeBron. But you know what? LeBron James wants to go for one more championship, if not two, and they're not helping him. They're not, you know, helping him at all with that roster the way it's configured. Because even if Christian Wood comes back, I didn't
Right.
like his game last year. Now Vando, that's a different story. But there was a story, the kid in Minnesota. What's his name? He the superstar in Minnesota.
Edwards.
Huh?
Edwards.
Yes. So he told Vando the other day while they were playing the game. He said, "You better shut up, man. You haven't played in 2 years." So you know how like guys are jockeying on the bench, and
Yeah.
Vando was on the bench that day. And the fact of the matter is, yeah, it's been a long time since this guy's been out there. I mean, he's got to get, you know, healthy sooner than later, you know, but we could use his help. So, you know, that's a guy. And also, I don't know how you feel about this. I've always wanted them to go out and get Dwight Howard because our backup center situation
Oh,
was a
you're on
mess.
the same page. Absolutely. Why don't they go and get him?
You
Cheap
know,
money.
I have my theories, and this might not come off the way some people might want it to come off, but as you know, Dwight was involved with that situation with another man where he said
Yeah.
that, you know, some things went on, and
Right. Mm-hmm.
and also not only that, but the fact that when the Lakers had the bubble, Dwight was very vocal, maybe too vocal for some of the stars on their team. So I think a combination of those two factors is part of the reason why the Lakers, chemistry-wise, don't think he would be a good fit. But I'll tell you, those guys need to swallow their pride because with Jackson Hayes on the bench, all we have at the center position is Koloko, Christian Koloko, and this guy was out for 2 years with blood clots. And you know, he's a great story, but he's a G League player. And other than that, we really don't have anybody. We have the other kid from France, but he shows no semblance of being like Wimby. So you know he can't really help us. I don't know, man. The Lakers really kill me with that. It's very frustrating as the guy that does the games. And like I said, I don't want to be too overly critical of people because I want my show to be a place that if LeBron James saw my show or if any Lakers saw my show, they would respect me because too many media people, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, the Rob Parkers, Bart Scott, to name three, they're too hard on the players and I think they do it to get ratings. I think they do it to appease their networks. And I'm not appeasing anybody. I'm not getting paid. So I'm
Right.
doing this for my love of the game. So I
Right.
want guys to one day say, you know, I'd like to be on his show. Not, oh, I hate his show. But
Right.
at the same time, I still want to be objective and
Of
give,
course.
you know, the true story the way I see it. And the one thing about my show, and I want to always tell it, when the Lakers win, I come on with my man Bill Withers, the late Bill Withers. It's called A Lovely Day. I was trying to pot it up so I could play it, and so I play that song. And then when they lose, it's Oscar Brown Jr. Where are you, my brother? So as you say, I try to be kind of funny and make it interesting, and because you know people don't have to listen to you, people don't have to tune in your show. But if, like
Right.
I said, if 10,000 people are watching me, they're watching for a reason.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. Now, how can I put this? You said a couple of moves that the Lakers should make. My next question, do you think they will make?
You know, that's a good question, Michael. I kind of think they will because one thing about me, and I wanted to show this room. Maybe I could do it in a second or so. Let's see if I can pop this. No, I don't think I could do it on. Let's see. I just want to give the audience the idea how much of a nut job I really am in terms of you know my love for LeBron James. So I've only missed 2 games in LeBron James' illustrious 22-year career. Only 2 games. One game,
You said it
I
one more
won't
time.
say, huh?
You said that one more. I don't think the viewers heard what you just said.
Okay, in 22 years, I've only missed 2 games. I repeat, 2 games in LeBron James' illustrious career. And that means if he was playing for the Lakers or if he was playing for Cleveland, if he was playing for Miami, it didn't matter one of those three teams he was playing for. I've only missed 2 games in his whole career. One time, I'm not going to say where I was, and the other time, I'm not going to say where I was. So we'll just leave it at that. But but that's how much of a nut job I am, and that's how much I have so much love and respect and admiration for LeBron James. But it's something a little fishy about this little hiatus. And I'm not saying LeBron is trying to send a message to Rob Pelinka, but knowing LeBron from a distance the way I do, Stephen A. Smith always says, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, God bleep it, it's a duck. And, I want to keep it clean for the young people out there. But, I smell something a little fishy about this little hiatus. And I think LeBron James, in some way or another, is trying to send a message, we need help. In this 2 games ago, before he was out injured for the last game, he said that we're trying to, let the boat not sink. I think he said it in a different way, but I think I got the message. And it seemed like he was saying something that night on the press conference. And I get a sneaky suspicion. A lot of people, and I don't really see it this way. They say that LeBron James is they use a lot of words to describe him in terms of him, sending messages and things like that. And I think he is, in some ways, in this instance, maybe trying to send a message to management. Hey, we need help, and you better start, finding that help for us, because it's too close to this December 15th period where you can, go out and get free agents and stuff like that. The kid from Miami, he recently was in the news saying that he was going to want to be traded with to one team and not to another team and all this. So
yeah, I was going to bring that up. Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler. Thank you. And so, I like I said, I think something's going on, and I can't believe, like I said, I don't care if it's DeMarcus Cousins, I don't care if it's Dwight Howard, but there's just no way in the world those 2 guys wouldn't be better than what we have right now.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make sense.
And the fact that, Dwight Howard, even though he was overseas, man, he was dominating. He's still in great shape. One thing about Dwight, my man's always in great shape. And he's,
you know what? More importantly, he's a Joker killer.
Yes.
He can guard the Joker. And let's face it, one of the things that troubles me with the Lakers, and this is one thing that if I saw JJ Redick right now, we'd start fighting. Because why? No, and I'm serious. I don't know why in God's name the Lakers have AD guarding out on the perimeter and switching onto smaller men. When I play basketball, when I coach basketball, you hedged and then you let your man get through, and then you stayed on your man. It's way too much switching in the NBA today, and the Lakers are notorious for it, and it doesn't make sense. If you notice, when the Lakers played the Joker, when the Lakers played Phoenix with Nurkic, when the Lakers even played Wemby, although Wemby is the biggest 7-foot jump shooter in the history of the NBA, the other 2 took the smaller men down. They were backing down AR and D'Lo, and meanwhile you had AD out on the perimeter trying to block shots. I mean, and remember, we lost that last game when Trae Young, I think that's right, he hit that 3 because him, AD and Gabe Vincent both went to the same player and left Trae wide open for a game-winning 3. Once again, it's telling you that a big man is very poor at switching on a perimeter, where he should be more, in his comfort zone if he's down low, guarding a Nurkic, guarding a Joker. And like I said, if JJ Redick was right here, I might throw a blow at him. And I like JJ because for the life of me, I don't know what the heck they are doing having AD guard the perimeter player on the switch every time. It makes no sense. It's asinine.
I agree with you, Damon. And the fact is, because the way the offenses are set up right now and the way they spread the floor, you are absolutely correct. You're putting him in harm's danger. He's out there in left field without a glove. I mean, and you got individuals who will eat that up. And you
Actually,
know,
he looks like Juan Soto playing the outfield because he stinks in the outfield. As much as they want to pay him $765 million, man, you got to be able to play a little defense, my brother, if you want that much money.
folks, this is why I have him on my show. That now you know. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, I don't like that switching. I don't like it. I think it detracts from the game itself, and then it allows for so many mismatches that can occur. And
And,
like what
and
you said,
Michael, see, if we had a DeMarcus Cousin or if we had Dwight Howard, at least they could guard, and then maybe you could have AD as the help defender because really he's a better help defender than he is an on-ball defender. But we can't do that because we don't have any big men down low. We don't have anybody. It always switches to a smaller player. Austin Reeves, and as you know, Austin Reeves is a terrible defensive player. And then D'Lo, and he's a terrible defensive player. The only one who's actually a good defensive player out of our guards is what's his name? The kid, what's his name? Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent is a tough. I mean, this guy plays defense better than just almost anybody on the team. But like I said, he has played so poorly that it's hard to have him on the court, for long periods of time. Although recently he started hitting his three, and I say, welcome, Gabe.
you know, when he was really highly respectful when he was coming out Denver because he helped them win a chip as well. He was very involved defensively, and he, like you said, he's a lockdown defender. But if you can't if you can't shoot, you ain't getting on the court. And right now, that's what's going on with him as well. Now, another question I want to ask you because I want to pick your brain because you know of and about LeBron so much. Now, this might be one you might have to think about. Right now, as you said, the Lakers are 13-11. Right now, they're in a very horrid Pacific Conference right now where every team is kind of miserable. The Clippers are 14-11. Phoenix is 12-11. Sacramento 12-13, and the Golden State, who happens to be surprising me a little bit, they're 14-9. Now, if in fact LeBron and the Lakers, let's say they don't make the play-in, do you think it's over for LeBron, or do you think he'll opt out of his no trade clause?
If the Lakers don't make the play-in, because as you know, the last 2 years, 1 year we made the play-in. And we got all the way to the Western Conference Final and got swept by Denver. Then the next year, we made the play-in, and we got beat in the first round by Denver again. Let's be fair about that. The Golden State Warriors have not even made the play-in the last 2 years. They haven't even gotten into the playoffs.
Right.
Okay, so you could talk all you want about LeBron James and LeBron James this and LeBron James that. But I will say, if the Lakers don't make the play-in, yeah, the Lakers got to do something else because that means, I don't know exactly. I'd have to look back, but that's just going to be a tough pill to swallow because unfortunately, Laker fans think that they are entitled. They're sort of like Yankee fans in some ways, and I just think that would be probably the worst thing that could ever happen. And no, as much as I love LeBron, yeah, it's getting dark in there. I should turn my lights on. I probably. I would think that that's something that they'd have to think about going in a different direction. I agree. I mean, if they don't make the play-in, quite frankly, I'm gonna put it to you this way, Michael. If the Lakers don't make a good run this year and get past the first, second, and maybe even to the Western Conference, it might be time to go in a different direction altogether.
Ooh, that's deep, my brother. That's deep. That's saying a lot coming from you as well. But you being a Laker fan, you know what I mean.
Hey, look, I love LeBron James, but you got to call a spade a spade. And nobody's gonna want me on this show if I can't tell them the truth in terms of what's going on. Let me turn this light on for a second. I apologize.
No problem. I'll continue. As Damon was saying, the Lakers right now, we both believe that they should have made some moves previously, but right with the dead 15 as the date that they can go into free agency. We're hoping that they make a move, and we both were talking about Dwight Howard. I think he'd be a perfect fit. My own opinion. I don't know how it would be in the locker room. I don't know about all that. You know more about that than me. But I mean, if it's about winning, then what I mean, he can, like you said, he's a joker killer, and someone got to stop that big man, and he can do it.
And look, I don't try to act like I'm a Laker insider, but I do. Like I said, I've only missed 2 games, and 22 years of LeBron James's career, his illustrious career, and I just think that from what I could tell, what went down with the I'm trying to think of the guy who I can't think of his name off the top of my head. They were really big in the bubble about saying that the Lakers shouldn't play, and that to me was a little bit distressing because if you think back to that time in our history in this country, that was during a height where COVID was
Right.
really taking a lot of lives. It also was a time where people were very, some people were out of work, especially a lot of the media. And, if it wasn't for the NBA players playing through that, society would have never really got going the way, it is today because, we were all fearful of what we were experiencing because no one had ever experienced that. And,
Right.
So Dwight Howard and the other gentleman, that name is I'm trying to think of this kid's name. But they were very negative. If you remember, also the kid from the Kyrie Irving was very negative, and
Right. Same. Yep.
And like I said, they were doing something not only for themselves because look, the fact of the matter is they wanted to get paid, and money talks, and what walks. But at the same time, I do remember the time when when the pandemic first hit, and the only people out there working was the little guy who was making $10 an hour at the grocery at A&P or Acme or any of those stores. And I remember, hey, when I went to that store and that guy was out there working, and most times without even a mask, I was, hey, here's $5, my man. Thank you. Because, we were all, in terror at that time. We were all, uneasy. And those were the first people that were really out there, the first line, taking the chances with their lives. And they didn't get enough credit. They did not get enough credit. And the NBA players didn't get enough credit because I remember ESPN got shut down. Half the employees were losing their jobs. And that was the first time it was the first time that I remember, announcers being very happy to call games, very, positive towards players. And I almost remember it reminded me when I was at the railroad for 30 something years, half the people never even said thank you. The one time they said thank you is when we had that situation where the World Trade Centers and stuff got attacked. And I had to go down to Grand Central when everybody was like afraid that, something else was going to happen. And my bosses told me, hey, you got to get this train over. You got to go down there to the city and get these people back home. And we did it. We as much fear might have been in my heart, hey, I'm a railroad guy. And that's what I did. And I went down there with my crew, and we took those people from Grand Central to Scarsdale, from Grand Central to White Plains, all these nice neighborhoods. And you know what? That's the one day that I remember when they got off that train. What did they say? Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. And that's a damn shame that it took that for them to appreciate us. But I do remember that was the one time they appreciated us. So, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
That's well. I'm glad you did what you did, and your crew there. That had to be a very tough situation for you guys to do. I don't know how many people would do it. to be honest with you. And that under that circumstances, but that was your job, and you had to do what you had to do. And
Absolutely. No differently than firemen who go into fires and risk their lives, or policemen who risk
right,
their lives. Obviously, those guys do that every day. But
right,
yes, we had to go down to Grand Central, take those trains from Grand Central to different places in Westchester, Connecticut, and Dutchess County, and we did it because it was our job.
right. Wow, wow. That was very impactful, my man. That was very impactful. But one thing I would like to say, since you brought that up, the players, they said the players are real spoiled and they make a lot of money, which they do. But one thing I want the viewers to know of what Chris Paul and the Players Association did. I don't know, folks, you guys may be too young, but there was a league called the ABA. And a lot of players in the ABA, back in the day, obviously they had to work two jobs to support their families and et cetera. And when their playing careers ended, they fell on tough times. Financially, they lost their homes, they lost everything. And people like Chris Paul, LeBron, and the Players Association stood up, fought. Now, 2024, those players who are alive are reaping the benefits of their hard work that they did back in the day. And that's why, Damon, I try to have a lot of the old time guests come on, a lot of the older players come on, because I want to give them their props, because without them, the players of today would not be able to benefit like they are right now. And I want to give a shout out to all the players associations, because the NBA players, they do the damn thing, and most of them do really truly care. But
Michael, let me say something. When you contacted me, you got so much scamming and scheming going on today. I was like, who's this guy? And that's just my defense mechanism. But when I looked at your show and I saw the guest that you had, the old time guest that you had, I
yeah,
said, man, this guy is realer than real. And that I was going to ask my friend, what do you think? Should I, go on the show, blah, blah, blah. But when I
right,
looked at it for myself, I said, man, this guy, you're a legend, brother. You're a
right,
legend. And, I don't know if you remember the great Art Rush Jr. That was the first guy, African-American, I saw do sports talk. He did it with a gentleman by the name of Bill Mazer. And you remind me a lot of Art. And kudos to you, man. Kudos to you, brother. You do a tremendous job. I'll come on this show anytime, anything I could do, even financially for, some of the older guys that come on hard time. Because the one thing I did, that railroad treated me pretty good. So, I'm blessed to have that nice pension, and I appreciate everything that they did for me. And, I always feel like you always should give back. You should always give back to people. I did that when, and one of the reasons I know I'm blessed is because when my daughter was playing AAU, if a kid didn't have the money, I put them up in a hotel. I bought them food. I worked at down in the city for the Douglas Panthers, organization down there with the great Hammer Stevens, and kids would come into the community center and say, they would say, Coach D, can you buy me a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich? It was like 7:00 at night. I was like, well, why do you want a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich this late at night? He said, because I didn't eat breakfast. But I never turned down one kid my whole time working there. I don't care how much money I had in my pocket or whatever. I always sacrifice for those kids. So when you're good like that, God is always good to you, man. God is always good to you. So, he's blessed with me. He's blessed me with so much I can't even tell you. So, like I said, I appreciate that, because when you give, it always comes back.
that's very true. Now, I wanted you on the show to give you your flowers and for what you do, and you captivated my interest as well. So instead of me asking you questions and then things of that nature, I want you to let the viewers know whatever is on your mind, whatever you want to say, and I'm giving you the floor.
Well, I know this is a sports show, but I just think that as people, we just need to come together and ingratiate each other more. Like I said, I'm so pleased to be on your show. I'm so pleased to be able to to find your show. I did a few shows with people, post retirement, and I realized that, as an old guy now, I don't like to take too many orders.
Right.
I like to dance to my own beat, so to speak. But that being said, you still want to just be good to people, man. Everybody out there, be good to your brother, man. Be good to your sister. And my mother just died a
Oh,
few months ago, and today the probate period was over, and
oh,
so now I can do what I want, with the property. I had to contact the lawyer, so this is a good time for me because it's finally giving me closure. It's finally giving me closure. But my thing is, just be good to people. Even though sometimes when people pass away, the worst comes out of people, and family's no different. But you know what? I survived all of that, and here I am today, and I feel so blessed, man. I feel so beautiful inside. And look, I'm a diabetic, and sometimes it's not easy. Dealing with diabetes is one of the most insidious diseases. So eat right, people. Try to keep that weight off, and I'm not preaching because I'm fat as it is. But let me tell you, it's not something that's easy to deal with. So
right.
you can exercise, get the right amount of sleep, and just be good to your brother and sister. It's not always about sports. It's all about life and all about how we treat one another.
That's absolutely true. And that's why I try to have on my show, I try to diversify and have sports, entertainment. Tomorrow night, I have a very interesting guest. Hope you all tune in for that. I'll talk about that later at length. But, Damon, man, I'm so glad that I was able to run into you. And, I consider you a friend right now. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you took the opportunity to come on my show because I probably had my reservations too. You know what I mean? And a few people have been that way. Like, who the hell do you think he is? But, I think, I do it from my heart. And, I don't get paid either. You know what I mean? So I do this because I have I guess I have, I guess I'm able to get people to come on my show. I have the accessibility, I guess, to get people to come on my show. And it's not easy, believe me. It's not, especially the older time play. It's not very easy, but I've been very fortunate that they kind of believe in me as well. And I've been able to have quite a few guests. And, like for tomorrow night, I have a guy by the name of Chuck Everson. He played for Villanova. He has his own podcast called the Big East Rewind. I've had Kermit Washington.
Did Chuck play on that team that beat Georgetown?
Yes.
Okay.
And his one of my good friends from out here, Dwayne McClain, was on that team as well.
Oh yeah, hey, look, I'm a big Laker fan, but this is probably about the first year or second year that I haven't followed Georgetown, and I'm like I said, you're talking about maybe a 40, 50-year run, but when they fired my man Patrick Ewing, and let's face it, he didn't do a great job, but that probably was it for me. But one of my biggest idols ever is the late, great John Thompson. Man, I love John. I wrote letters upon letters to John,
Wow.
telling him that I could help him in Georgetown and things of that nature. I just really love Georgetown basketball. And Dwayne McClain, man, down with them. He beat my team, man. He beat my team.
What's funny too, Damon, is that I had Gene Smith, Captain Gene Smith, from that Georgetown team.
Yes, I remember Gene.
He is the man. What a great interview he was. And then the legendary Reggie Williams came down here and did 2 basketball camps at
wow, that's amazing, man.
My show as well.
Anytime you need anything, man, I'll give you my personal number after this is over. And man, anytime. I mean, man, you're just like I said. You remind me so much of the late great Art Rush Jr. The one thing I want to say, just to give myself a little pop. Hey, if you're a Laker fan, come on any of those Laker groups or my page on Facebook, Damon Hargrove, and we do the Purple and Gold report after each and every game, about 30 minutes to an hour after each game. You'll love it. If you're a Laker fan, you can watch it that night or you can watch it the next night. I'm also on YouTube. I just started on YouTube, and so we're starting to find some. Please like and subscribe to the channel Sports Guru, aka DH Grove, on YouTube. I do this for the people, and like I said, I enjoy it, man. And I try to give off the same energy that I gave off on your show is what I do on my show, and we just try to have a good time, man. So Damon Hargrove on Facebook or any of the Laker groups. I'm practically on every one. I find a new one to join every day. And then, like I said, also your YouTube television, DH Grove, Sports Guru, aka DH Grove. I screwed that up nicely, but thank you anyway.
Hey, folks, let me tell you something. What he's saying is absolutely true. His show is entertaining. I enjoy it. The only problem I have, and I already told him, is that the Lakers game, sometimes they start at 10:30, don't let into about 12:30, quarter one. I'm sound asleep. But I'm telling you, folks, tune in, check him out. He's very entertaining. You guys are going to love him. And I'm going to do my best to spread the word to get, a lot more people. Well, you already have 10,000 people already. But, I think you guys do yourself a favor. Tune in, check him out. He's the bomb. That's my dude. Again, Damon, I want to thank you for coming on my show. I'm going to have you back again and again and again. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, my brother. And God bless you. And again, thank you so much for coming on my show.
All I can say is love you, Mike. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Damon. Oh, man, I'm blessed. Thank you so much, Damon. All folks, right, I want to thank you all for tuning into my show.
Go Lakers! Go Lakers!
Go Lakers! I want to thank you all for tuning into my show, Sports Corner with the Conn Man, on the Sports Wave Network. I want to thank my producer, Key Williams, who without her efforts, I probably wouldn't be able to do the damn thing anyway. But folks, stay tuned, because tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time, I'm going to have my man, AC Cobbs, former UCLA football standout. And he has his own media production company, and he's doing some phenomenal things. This guy is, out on the West Coast, so we're gonna bang heads a little bit. We're gonna do the damn thing. But again, I want to thank my man Damon Hargrove for coming on. I told you guys he'd be entertaining, and he definitely fit the bill. And he's a great person, and I had the pleasure of talking to him off the air, and I knew he would be really exceptional coming on my show as well. And again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. 7 o'clock Eastern time, I will be having AC Cobbs on my show. He's something else. And, I've been blessed. I want to thank, again, my producer, Key Williams, and the network for having me on and having my own show. And you see, how can you not love doing this? This is great. This is awesome. So, folks, I'm going to tune out right now and let you all know we'll be coming back tonight at 7 p.m. live with my guest, AC Cobbs, and we're going to talk some football, a little bit. Of course, we're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk about, UCLA. We're going to talk about Bill Belichick. We're going to talk about some football. I'm not, I can diversify a little bit, folks. We're going to do a little bit of football, then we're going to tune in. And also, I got a couple minutes left. Tomorrow night, folks, if you ever watch any of my shows, stay tuned tomorrow night. Live at 5 p.m., we have Chuck Everson, who is a former standout at Villanova, was on that Villanova championship team. And I'm still waiting on the guest that he's trying to get, one of his good friends, and one of the guys who I happen to play against and refereed against, Dwayne McClain, who was a part of the NCAA championship team. He's out here from Worcester, which is about an hour away from where I live. And he has come and played in the basketball shows here in Monty Park here in Bedford, Mass. And looking forward to have him come on as well. And hopefully he can make it. But if not, Chuck Everson has his own show, which is called the Big East Rewind. And he has a lot of great guests. He had Lou Conseca. He's had some great people. We're going to talk about that tomorrow as well. And, I get so excited doing this damn show, man. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? I'm honored to be able to do this. And, we only just begun. We only just begun. And I want to thank, again, Damon Hargrove for coming on my show. He's the man. Yo, check him out. I'm telling you. If I had an alarm clock, I would keep it on. But, the Lakers play at 10:30 Eastern time. Games don't end until like 12:30, quarter one. But I'll tell you what, the Lakers play tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern time against Minnesota. LeBron won't be playing, but I'm telling y'all, after the game, go look up my man Damon Hargrove. He has a he was doing a pre-game show, I guess you could call it. But he also does a post-game Lakers show where you can listen to the players, whether it be Reeves or the coach Reddick or part of the Lakers, whoever it is, AD, LeBron, and you can hear the interview about a half hour after the game. And he's doing some great things. Very unique style that he has, and his format is one of the best I've ever been able to view. So, folks, it's my time out right now. So, folks, thank you for tuning into my show, Sports Corner with the Conn Man on the Sports Wave Network. Thank you. You guys stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.